Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. What can we say about what's going on here with this vehicle? This is it. This is that 2026 C8 ZR1, this particular one being a convertible. But before we just dive into this over 1,000 horsepower supercar, let's talk about what's going on here. So this is a continuation of those videos that you guys love, where we go full POV and show what is it like to live with not only a C8, not only a convertible, but also the mighty ZR1. A lot of things are being said about the upcoming generation, the C9 Corvette, but obviously still a lot to learn and a lot to love with the C8, especially the ZR1. So why don't we go ahead, strap yourself in behind the driver's seat with me, and we're gonna see what is it exactly like to live with a C8 ZR1. Let's go find out. All right, guys, we are inside this 2026 ZR1, this being a convertible, 3LZ. I'm going to go ahead and fire up the ZR1, and just like other C8s, the start-stop button is right behind the right paddle. Foot on the brake, and the car comes to life. So let's start with the steering wheel. Everything else that you know about a C8 is the same on the steering wheel for the ZR1. You have your heated seat control on the right hand side. You could talk and text, whatever you gotta do with your phone hooked up to your infotainment system. You could do that by pressing the buttons. You have different controls here to where you can scroll through different information on the new 14-inch digital gauge cluster. And then on the driver's side of the wheel, the left-hand side of the wheel, you have all of your cruise control options. And then, of course, my favorite button, the Z button, which really just activates all the performance functions and features. So, same as what you find on other C8s. Same thing with the controls on the doors. This being a convertible, you have your controls here at the bottom for putting down your top, putting down the rear glass if you just want to have that up or down, and then your windows. You could power fold your side mirrors, so that's nice to have that all at finger touch. And then, of course, to change your mirrors around, to move them, you have the controls for that. 2 stages of seat settings. And then on the left-hand side of the steering column, you have your tilting and telescoping wheel control. Almost forgot you also have your audio controls right here, but I think the reason why I always forget that is that in a car like this, I'm not listening to music. That LT7 twin-turbo V8 is what I'm going to be listening to. New for 2026, besides the updated gauge cluster and infotainment, is you have a 6-inch separate screen here that you can bring up other information, which is really nice. And it's a touchscreen, full color graphics. Really nice to have that usability rather than just dead space. You got a good size head-up display, and then of course you have that new digital gauge cluster, which just looks fantastic. I mean, this is what it looks like when you're in normal mode. On the new center console, this is where you're going to find your mode selector toggle switch. I am going to zonk it because it doesn't feel really well made. It doesn't feel like a piece of aluminum. It's just a piece of plastic. So, but you have your different modes that you can go into, and that's going to change the display around for you, including, of course, full track mode. So nice to see the new graphics. You look on the over 12-inch infotainment system, the graphics over there for the different modes that you're going to go into. Nice to see all those changes that they did make to this vehicle for 2026. Another thing that's a major change is gone is the waterfall of switchgear. Everything now is in the infotainment system or the new toggle switches for your dual climate control. Make it hotter, make it warmer, whatever you want to do, your blower fan. You also can touch the screen to make those adjustments as well. Up to you. And then obviously you just get out of it that way. Or you can make it larger and expand it, which is really nice. Hit the home button. This is your new updated infotainment system, all laid out just like you've seen before. You have your Google Maps that you could easily bring up. You have your home page, which you could bring up a selection of different things to be shown. Your performance data recorder. And then I like these, what Dodge would call performance pages. You have different gauge layouts, an on-running engine data system that you can see the horsepower and everything. Also here as well, showing the horsepower, the torque, your G meter, boost gauge, and you even have a stopwatch. So all of that at your fingertips. Come back home, you get access cameras. Camera quality in this thing is absolutely fantastic. I mean, they do a great job with camera quality. You could get into cameras this way, or if you want your forward-facing camera, you could hit that right there, right by the toggle switch for your modes. So this is its own little unique area. And then of course you have your other area like before for the push-pull system of that Tremec 8-speed dual clutch transmission. You're also going to find in the second area here, besides your forward-facing camera and toggle switch, this is where you're going to have your front end lift. And you could see that you could actually select it to remember up to 1,000 different locations. And that will be stored in the GPS. Hit it again, and it actually lowers the vehicle. It lets you know too. And of course, you can only do that at certain speeds. You can't do it at 200 miles an hour. Now, the cool thing about the center console is the way they reorganize everything. You do have a second wireless charging pad. You have the wireless charging pad area that's still right over my right shoulder, but now you have wireless charging here as well. And I do like the way they did the switch gear here. Ventilated seats and heated seats are going to be in the screen. So you just tap. It's going to activate your 3 stages of heated seats, 3 stages of ventilated seats. You do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. And then you can pull up things like your vehicle status. I love the way it shows the Corvette badging. Nice to have your voltmeter. Fuel economy, I'm doing really good. I'm averaging 9.5 miles per gallon. If you buy this car because of MPGs, you're buying the wrong car. I mean, that's point blank. Still have our digital rearview mirror. You turn it on, turn it off, all by flipping. And then you even have your home link where you could have it programmed to open up your garage door. Those nice carbon fiber paddles, matches the carbon fiber on the steering wheel very nicely. And then when you go into your different modes, you'll see how the gauges change. So I really like the way you have that usability is so nice, and the gauges are wonderful, and you could change the information that's displayed very easily. Also like the fact that when you just hit the Z button, that brings up your performance page here, specially tuned for the ZR1 with your performance traction management system, which is great. This is one of the best systems in the industry, and everything is all touch operated. You could go from full track to touring to wet to sport for all these different things. And if you want to see how it's matched up here, that's how I have it set up. I actually had that one higher. So I'm actually going to go back in, and what we're going to do is we're going to hit this guy here. Now I'm going to go suspension, and I'm going to go to track. So performance traction management system off. because I have the suspension there. If I want to go back to sport, I could do that very easily, and it displays that information there. So nice to see that. And then to get out of it, you're right here. What I normally like to have displayed, of course, being a very performance-oriented person, is I like to have those performance gauges, which is right there. Stopwatch, all those goodies. Really clean graphics. They did a really great job with the graphics. Other than that, everything else is laid out the way that you would expect. You have your volume knob up front for your audio, so you have a real volume knob. And then you have the little toggles here that you can move the AC vents with. But why don't we go ahead, let's go for a little spin and see what it's like to live with a ZR1. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised how easy it is to drive. Throw it into reverse. There's our backup camera. You got your trajectory lines, which are really nice. I'm going to go ahead and hit the front axle lift because we have a speed bump that we're immediately going to go over. It's up in position. Pull up on drive. There's the speed bump. And now we're going to slowly go over that. Now, I like to lower the vehicle right back down, but once you start driving, it will do it for you. Of course, you have your turn signal stock on the left-hand side that also has your lights, and then you have your windshield wiper stock on the right. And of course, I have it in just regular drive right now in track mode. Now, doing your normal driving, I think you're going to find this vehicle is very easy to drive, but that's the end of the story right there. If you use the acceleration and the performance of this vehicle, you better know what you're doing, because it is very powerful. 1,064 horsepower, 828 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds, quarter mile in less than 10, and a top speed of 233 miles per hour. Absolutely insane. But with the magnetic ride suspension, even in track, the suspension is really great. Of course, you could manually shift. You're going to hit the M, and now you got a nice gear indicator there, and you could actually shift with the paddles, whether you go up or down, which is great. Of course, you're going to get all of your safety features that you come to expect from any modern car. And if you shut the traction control off in this thing, it's gonna bite you. You gotta really know what you're doing with this kind of power. Of course, if you want to rev the engine at your car show or to impress the kids, you pull in both paddles and now you could rev without going anywhere. On throttle! But like I said, plenty of power, that's for sure. But from a normal driving standpoint, the car is very comfortable. The seats are great. They support you well. They really engineered a lot of great room into the cabin here, which is nice. And then that head-up display is really, really a heaven send. You are going to really attract the attention of the law enforcement in this vehicle with the way that it performs and the way that it sounds. And then, like I said, if you don't want to be full speed racer, you can go right to Tour. The GM Performance exhaust quiets up. You have a different gauge cluster that displays, but you can still have your performance information, which is really nice. And this is where you could swipe. I mean, look at all of the information that is available at your fingertips. But each mode definitely feels unique. Here's Sport. I think this is what you're probably going to want to drive in if you want to have that sporty, obviously, experience, but you still want the nannies to rein things in, you're going to want to keep it on sport. And then, of course, you could just hit the Zora button, which sets up everything exactly how you left it. But you got lots of headroom in here. And remember, I'm 6 feet tall, so it's quite stupendous what they've been able to create with this car. And then if you want to let the car shift itself, then you're good to go. But it's crazy because that LT7, any waiting for, you know, to get in the revs for the Z06 LT5, you're not waiting. I promise you that. I mean, it's the turbos spool up so fast and just eject you like a freaking rocket right off the base of a battleship. It really is that intense. But it is easy to drive, especially with things like the digital rearview mirror. You got a lot of room out front. It's just once you turn up the wick, that's when all bets are off. You better respect this car or she's gonna bite, and she's gonna bite you hard. It's gonna hurt, I'll tell you that much. But like I said, sitting here in normal everyday traffic, it's very easy to drive. All the controls are laid out very well. The information is laid out really well. On the ZR1, remember, you do lose the front mounted trunk. So if you have a lot of things that you carry with you, you're just gonna have the rear trunk on this ZR1. And this one being a convertible, the trunk is all enclosed within itself. But the materials feel great, and the performance is definitely there if you're ready for it. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, deeper dive to show what is it like to live with this ZR1. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. Alright guys, so glad to be able to share more of these deeper dives with you, especially when it comes to a car like the C8 ZR1. Let me know what you think, based off of everything that you learned, of everything that you got to see from your point of view, or I should say my point of view, inside the C8. Let me know if you think you could daily drive a C8 ZR1 convertible. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Gotta get up to Latte Lori. Mother Nature is giving her some curveballs, but you know what? She's going to toe, because Lori is one bad mamma jamma. So thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.